Hello and welcome to Who Are You? We are a reasonably well done sci-fi watchcast hosted by two friends who are currently watching 2004's Battlestar Galactica. I'm Xhafer.
And I'm Laura.
And today we're joined by my co-host on Last Time On, my former co-host of Draft the Universe, which is our old Dead podcast, my co-captain of the LARP team for a number of years, and one of my very best friends in the whole wide world, Ben.
Hi, everybody. I'm glad to be back. You may recognize me as Lieutenant Matheson.
We can't acknowledge those.
Nope.
I sure hope that your microphone really picked up you cracking your neck, because I heard it.
I'm sorry.
Your intro.
So how we doing?
I am doing okay. I am very excited to be here talking to you guys. I'm glad I got to hear that first episode of your Battlestar coverage drop. Xhafer,
Yes.
I appreciate the position you're in. And I'm going to say, it's going to be easier if you just lean into whatever Laura's saying. Don't worry about what's true. Don't worry about your burden of knowledge.
Yeah.
Just play in the space.
Just
What
yes
if
and.
everything was true? What if whatever random, theories and hypotheses Laura comes up with were true? Let's live in that space.
Okay. Just everything
like
she says
it.
is right instead of can't deny everything.
Or what if you make it weirder? Let's get weird, Xhafer. Like,
We do
Oh,
like to
you
get
think-
weird with it over on Last Time On.
you think Cylons are robots? Oh boy, are you in for a surprise. You find out they're actually birds. Yes, birds are robots that are Cylons.
Oh, man. That's the hot new conspiracy theory just dropping now, guys.
Yep.
Yep. Birds are robots, are Cylons. So,
Yeah.
Ben, I don't know if you just really remember this episode, like really liking this episode, or if there's like a moment or memory you have with this episode when we told you that we were going to be doing Battlestar after Babylon 5, like 2 years ago, like when we were first talking about it.
Well, and before you even announced what you were doing, I'm like,
Yeah.
you're doing Battlestar next.
Yeah. Your first
Yeah.
words to me when confirmed, yes, we're going to do Battlestar next, or maybe even before confirmed, it's like, we're talking about maybe Battlestar next, we're dibs on 33.
Oh, yeah.
Why?
Well, I firmly believe it is one of the best pieces of sci-fi ever written. It is just astounding in what it's trying to do, what it succeeds at doing. There are some things where you're just like, hey, if somebody else had even this same premise, how would they have executed it? What would they have done differently? And we can get into some of the stuff where it's just like, why are they doing, like, they have, over the course of this, hundreds of space battles.
Mhm.
We don't see them. We see ships that are shot up. We don't see the fighting. Now, could that be CG budgets? Or we've got so much to get through that actually takes away from the story. That thing that, we were just complaining about in The Expanse, where it's just like, not seeing a whole lot of space battle in these giant epic space battles.
Yeah.
In this one, like, until you've watched it 4 times, you might even miss it. I remember very vividly when we did Back on Draft the Universe, we did an episode of drafting our best single episodes of science fiction.
Yep.
And my number one pick that I know I stole from Xhafer
Yeah.
was 33. Before The Inner Light, before The Visitor, before any of the episodes you could pick from Babylon 5, I picked 33. Because as great as the miniseries is, it is setting the feel, the tone. You know exactly the stakes of this show. And it's compelling. We're not doing, like, one of the nice things about starting your show off with a miniseries is the pilot doesn't have to set the table stakes, which can be tough we've got 44 minutes, you got to cut in ad breaks.
Yeah.
Okay, what are the Cylons? Okay, why is the fleet gone? Okay, Why
Yeah.
do they have all these civilian ships going around? We handled that last year in 2 hours.
3. Yeah.
Yeah. Now we get to talk about what is the existence of a fleet on the run. Bad guys are chasing you. They are robots. They don't sleep. They don't, they don't care. In fact, they could be, like, if I was a Cylon, I wouldn't be doing this the way they were. But I'm not a Cylon. And so what's going on? Why is it happening the way it is? It just is, and we have to deal with the now. We are the 50,000 humans left alive.
Mm-hmm.
No, it's undeniably a great episode of television.
Truly, yeah. I was on the edge of my butt the whole time.
And of course, it does end with a character accepting the Lord into their heart. And I want to start with that. No.
That fucking guy, though.
That fucking guy.
Laura, I love that you have Baltar clocked from minute 1. Doesn't matter that
sucks.
it doesn't matter that he's Picard's dad. You hate him.
More reason, actually.
But he turns out to not have been a bad guy.
Yeah.
No, because the
but-
whole point of season 2 is
Hey,
Picard realizing
Hey.
Oh.
Season 2.
Picard
Okay, you're talking
season
Picard.
2
Okay.
is
Yeah.
Picard realizing, like, oh, my mom had really bad mental illness, which is weird because in the TOS timeline they talk about how they've cured all that. But we want to do compelling storytelling, I understand. And being like, oh, my dad was trying to protect me from my mom who was in the middle of a incredible manic episode, and I hated him for it because I didn't understand. He was also very callous and closed off, but he's French.
Well,
So this
he was
actor
very
was in
James
Picard,
Callis.
huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
James Callis played Picard's dad in season 2 of Picard.
Did not catch that at all.
He sounds very different.
And I had no context for, like, seeing him in this show first. But boy. Anyway, this is not a Picard podcast.
No.
Nope. So we should just get into the episode. We open on a crew clearly exhausted.
And just so many clocks ticking.
Yes.
Captain Hook is having a conniption fit somewhere.
Bad day for Hook. For sure.
Mhm. Yeah.
We learn that the fleet's been jumping at an interval. Every 33 minutes, the Cylons catch up. And it's been like this for the last 5 days. Now,
Yep.
Yeah.
they tell us how many jumps it's been in a scene. But I do want you to know I did do the math.
Me too.
It's 218 for exactly 5 days. But we're actually at 237.
So I guess would that technically be we're in the 6th day? Like we're taking down the 6th day. We've had
Yeah.
5 days. Yeah. Okay.
And this did make me want to ask you guys, like, we go around the clock, we see, or around the horn, we see all the different clocks.
Yeah.
We get the Callie explains what's going on minute,
Mhm.
and then everybody's just reacting. What's the longest you guys have gone without sleep?
I don't know if I can actually clock that for sure, having had 2 children.
Yeah. Without any sleep,
Yeah, none at all.
probably 36 hours.
Yeah. I know I've done at least that freshman year
Yeah.
finals first semester. That was a horrible mistake.
I know I've gone at least 3.
3 days.
Yeah, 3 days. And that was bad. It was
Yeah.
bad times.
Oof.
Yeah, 72 hours is a lot without sleep.
Jafar and I used to work a night job where we
Yeah.
for a while we worked days and then nights.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so we snatch like 3 hours in the afternoon and then 3 hours in the morning and then keep rolling. And I will tell you, I have never hated a human being more than when we had finished a job, we were finally ready to go home for the weekend, and we find out Jafar has agreed to do another aisle.
We made it
We
work.
didn't have to do it, Jafar.
We made it work.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure there were some times specifically that summer we worked day shift and night shift, because we had like 3-4 day weekends, and we were working well over 40 hours a week.
Oh,
We were
60, 70 hours.
Yeah, easy. And we, at the very least, had Friday, Saturday, Sunday off every week. So we were really, really packing it in there and sleeping very, very little. I remember being grateful for 30-minute naps in the car sometimes in those days. That summer was crazy.
Probably took years off our lives.
It might have.
That's why we look
Yeah.
like crap.
I mean, at the very least, it significantly accelerated my graying.
So we are jumping every 33 minutes, right? And it seems like we have no crew to rotate
No.
so that people could. I don't even know. Could you sleep through a faster than light jump? Seems like maybe not.
I'm sure you could after practice or exhaustion.
It doesn't seem pleasant,
Yeah, that's true.
I'm sure there are people who are.
but they do not have a 4-shift rotation going on the
Yeah.
Galactica.
Yeah,
Seems like they don't have
Galactica.
a one-shift rotation.
Yeah, like we were
And-
skeleton crew.
It was interesting. Xhafer was hypothesizing, hey, when they jumped the first time in the miniseries, is this the first time they have all jumped,
Yeah.
And it doesn't seem like it because, like, some of them are just like, oh, man, I hate this. Like, they've been through a jump before. Have they jumped as a crew with this ship?
Yeah,
Well,
that's probably
maybe
not.
not.
Right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
now it's, you've done this dozens and dozens of time on zero sleep. It's just a real trial by fire.
Yeah.
We should be really good at this now after
Yeah.
this episode, I would hope.
I mean, that's Lee's point in a couple of scenes.
Yeah.
So we get the theme here. No words over the theme. I had called that incorrectly. I'm guessing that starts in a couple of episodes.
It shows up later.
Yeah. But we do get a count of the number of humans left alive a number of times in this episode. And it is in the background as we go to theme in Rosalind's little office, that makeshift office on Colonial 1, which is 50,298.
And that gets adjusted in the episode.
It does. I had completely forgotten that this show does the flashes of the episode at the end of the theme.
Mm-hmm.
That is something I had completely forgotten that was a device in this story, in this show. What a fun storytelling device. Did you know what was going on here, Laura?
I didn't, to be honest. I'm like sitting here with a blank look on my face, like, what is Xhafer talking about?
So at the end of the theme, there was like 5 seconds of split screen flashes of stuff that happens throughout the course of this episode.
Okay.
And that is something
I'll
that
look
happens
for that next
in
time.
every episode going forward.
Oh, that's fancy.
Yeah.
What a fancy touch. Yeah.
And I do want to point out, you guys did mention, like, hey, who is Gaeta? I will just say Gaeta, my favorite character. He is my Gomez of this show. He is my boy. He is not the third officer. He is the tactical officer.
Oh, okay.
The third officer is Captain Kelly. He's the guy from the miniseries who tries to send in the rescue teams, and Ty is just like, no, vent it all to space.
Yeah.
Oh,
That is
okay.
the third officer.
I didn't catch that. Okay. Interesting.
Yeah, I did a little bit of reading after the miniseries to make sure that I was up to date on some things, and I did.
Yeah. You
realize
guys will
my
have to
error
correct
there.
me when I misspeak for things like that, because
Nah.
I
No,
will
no, we
not
don't.
know.
But
There is no reason you would know. They didn't say his name.
Yeah.
we flash forward a little bit here. 130.35 hours, 5 days, 10 hours, 21 minutes. Exactly 237 33-minute jumps.
We get a very quick fighters out. All right, everybody engage. Okay, call everybody back. Combat landing. It's like, we don't see anything blow up. We don't see anybody get shot, but
Mm-hmm.
it is still very exciting, very dynamic.
Yeah. I think the most we see in this episode is just like guns firing. Like
Yeah.
we get
Yeah.
shots of that, but we don't actually see any battle.
And one of my favorite things about the Vipers is how beautiful and elegant their launch system is, and then their landing is just crash into the ship.
Yeah. Yeah. It's very on brand for Starbuck.
Yeah.
She's going to do a lot of that, I think.
She does. Commander Adama talks about splitting up the fleet just to see what happens.
Mm-hmm.
Lee's running his CAG meeting. CAG, of course, stands for Commander of the Air Group.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I heard Starbuck call him CAG at some point, but I had no idea what she was talking
It
about.
was a promotion he received in the miniseries, very briefly mentioned.
Okay. Yeah.
That is one of my favorite things about this show is they really lean into military jargon, making you feel like I'm on a space aircraft carrier.
Yeah. Yeah. It's one of those things that if I have enough context, maybe I'll catch the actual meaning of it.
Mhm.
I understood like he's in command, but I didn't know what
And they
meant.
do a good enough job that you just use context clues. It's fine.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
After this, we move over to Boomer and Crashdown. I don't think they tell us Crashdown's name in this episode.
Oh no, he's just some guy to
He's
me.
talking about Darth Maul?
I am talking about Darth Maul. That is Sam Witwer, the voice of Darth Maul in the Clone Wars, and his most recent role, Captain James T. Kirk, in the reunification bot for the 30th anniversary of Star Trek Generations that the Roddenberry Archive just dropped. He is he's the Kirk he's wearing prosthetics to make him look like Shatner, but yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, he's cool. I like him.
He is the dude that Dave Filoni calls when Dave Filoni needs to know something about Star Wars, which tells you everything you need to know about Sam Witwer.
I want to sit in a room with Sam Witwer and Freddie Prinze Jr. That is my dream.
That sounds like a fun room.
Yeah. Yeah. No, when this guy is talking to Boomer, though, I'm going, no, the whole time.
Yeah.
Why?
Don't talk to her. Don't. No.
What was wrong? I think this is AAP I hate Laura.
Whoa.
It's not my fault the Cylons made her the way she is.
You're right. She's a bird.
Yeah. But she clearly doesn't. They said it pretty much in the miniseries, right? That they can be anywhere and not know that they're Cylons. And I'm like, well, she clearly doesn't.
And she is curt with him.
Yeah, Sharon is having a bad day.
Well, aren't we all? We've been up for 5 days.
Yeah. Duala goes to ask about her family when she finds the picture boards.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. This is very reminiscent of 90s, 2000s disasters, right?
It's also very 9/11 memorial wall. Like, it is interesting, like, looking back, because this show is much like later Enterprise, very much of that moment.
Yeah.
And it's interesting going back now 20 years later.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I was like, oh, this is like the fence. Like, people still leave stuff at the Oklahoma City bombing memorial fence, like all the time. And it's just like, wow, that's really of a moment.
But there's also just like, oh man, 12 planets full of people plus everyone in space.
Yeah.
There's 50,000 of you left. I don't know, like, D is a optimist. I don't think I would even bother going to this this board or to this person who's trying to figure out who's still alive.
Yeah. Can you imagine being that guy? Like, it's horrible.
Everyone
to
you
do
see, you are telling everyone you've known is dead.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Go leave their picture on the board.
That's soul crushing.
Yeah. And you've also been up for 5 days.
Yes.
Oh, so dramatic.
Rosalind updates the survivor board, 49,998.
Which is the population of a not big town.
Yep.
Like, this is Prescott Valley, Arizona, or Everett, Massachusetts. Towns you've probably never heard of. And that's all of us.
Man. A Dr. Emmerach is requesting an audience with the president. Gaius knows him.
Yep. Also, Gaius tells his Vision 6 girlfriend he doesn't want kids, and she's not happy about that.
Yeah, what's up with that?
Well,
so strange.
You're a figment of my imagination, so sure, I guess. Like, what's to lose here? I guess she'll know if you're lying, but...
Yeah, no, 6 is like all over the place in this episode. And I am thinking maybe it's partly a reflection of like his mental state for being awake for 5 days.
Maybe it is. Gaius has 2 conversations at the same time here when he's talking to Billy and Laura and 6PT. And I love this. This is great writing.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
The like answer and then pause and then the other part of the answer that makes the sentence have a different meaning. It's so good.
Yeah,
So
and his
good.
acting in this is just amazing. Like he looks insane.
There are actors who I feel it's important to be like, hey, I respect what you're doing by making me hate this character so much.
Yeah.
And James Callis is one of those people where I beseech you, make sure you are separating how much this guy is a creep with how good a job the actor is doing.
Sure.
I don't know. I am glad he is in this production as much as I want to throw Baltar out of the nearest airlock, and I'm like, why are you guys not doing that immediately?
Yeah. He's in real danger of being Joffrey'd these days, I think, if you put this up. Yeah.
Back on Caprica, Hilo takes out 2 Cylons with his mine trap.
Yep.
Yeah.
And do you want to know something really, this isn't spoilers or anything, but do you want to know something really cool about Hilo, so Tamoa Pinkett, and this whole storyline? I don't know if you know this. I don't know if you know this, Xhafer. I'm assuming you don't, Laura. This wasn't supposed to be part of the show.
Oh, yeah. No, Hilo was supposed to just be dead, right?
Yeah, Hilo was just supposed to be dead. But then when they made the miniseries, they were just like, this guy's pretty cool, and we like working with him. What if we just write a story for him back on Caprica? And the answer could be because it's super expensive, and now we have a whole second unit at a different location filming in the woods in the rain, and we have to write a whole extra storyline. It's like, yeah, but Tamoa's pretty cool, right?
Well, I have good news for the production staff, and that is you've already got your Battlestar sets. You're good.
That helps.
Yeah.
Right. At least this is just the woods. We've got those around.
Yeah.
Lying around. Yeah.
Go out to Vasquez Rocks. You'll be fine.
Yeah. He's being most dangerous gamed here by the Cylons. And I wrote down in my notes, how is nuclear everything not killing him? But then they answered that for me later.
Yes.
So that was good. I'm glad they did.
Yeah, he takes some rat away.
Yeah.
Adama gets his 10 minutes of rest while Lee talks to Kara about taking some stims.
I like it.
When Apollo and Starbuck are talking, and I'm going to abbreviate Starbuck's name as S-Bucks in my notes forever.
Starbies.
Yeah, Starbies. I wrote down fuck already because the energy is already there, guys. They're ready. They just need to.
She was engaged to his brother.
There's only 50,000 of them left, Ben. Come on.
At least she got a much better haircut than she had in the miniseries.
Yeah. Not so choppy.
Yeah, it's significantly smoother. Actually, use some later.
I do love they have this whole fight where Starbuck is insubordinate, one, because it's in her nature, but also to prove a point, and then complies, and then it cuts over to Chief Tyrrell, who's just like, what the fuck was that?
No, he's thinking what I'm thinking. He's like, you guys just need to fuck already. Just get it done.
We get a glimpse of how Kara would act as CAG here, and Lee is grateful she isn't. She takes the pills. Hilo takes the aforementioned rat away when he sees a 6 and then gets captured by a Centurion.
Which somehow he didn't hear, which is one of those okay, maybe he's been running for 5.5 days. He's just shot a syringe into his neck. Okay, he's got stuff going on. But the one things we know about Centurions is they loud. They noise boys.
They are noise boys.
I didn't know they were called Centurions. Okay, so that's just the big metal boys.
Yes.
Yep. Okay.
Why they're Centurions without any legions, I don't know. The nomenclature doesn't make any sense.
They're Cylons, Ben. Don't worry. Don't use
also,
human
a Centurion
logic.
is in charge of 80 people, not 100. Just so you know, a little Roman history fact for you.
Stop thinking about Rome all the time.
Well, that seems wrong.
Is it 100 with support staff?
That is what it is.
Yeah, that makes sense. All right. We get jump 238 complete here. And the Olympic carrier was left behind.
Oh.
The Olympic carrier is not the name of the ship, by the way. Fun fact. The Olympic carrier is the name of the airlines. And it was just Olympic carrier flight blah. And then they just shortened it to the Olympic carrier because it was really weird to say the flight number in the script.
When you're the only one left.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh man, yeah. So we find out there were 1,345 people.
1,345 people.
Yeah. Bringing our total down to 47,972. Ben, did you look up more small towns?
No, it's hard to find small towns around 50,000 people. The lists kind of stop around 100,000.
Okay.
I was only able to find, hey, here's the census listing of the towns that just hit 50,000 people.
Mm-hmm.
And you're like, but I wanted the ones right.
Just under that. What happens if there was a bad bus crash? But we do get Ty XOing his little head off here.
Yeah.
Where he's just like, I know you're tired. I know you're angry. I know there's no relief. But we can't screw up.
I feel like that's a little hard on the crew because, like, there's a whole other crew over there on the Olympic carrier that could have also been who fucked it up. Like, we don't really know who fucked it up, right?
But Dee should have had some record. That is her job.
Okay.
So if they broke down and couldn't make the jump, she should have had a record of that.
She should have seen
If they had jumped and had left the last place, then they could say, hey, maybe they screwed up and went to the wrong coordinates. But she doesn't have that either. Yeah. So she did make a mistake.
Okay.
But
yeah, no,
she's
I was
also got to record 120-something ships every jump.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
Yeah. It's a lot of math.
Then we get the serendipity of who was on the Olympic carrier.
Yes, Aramac was on the Olympic carrier. Gaius got so lucky. We move to the end of the timer. No Dratus contact.
Weird.
Did you want to talk about whether it's a initialism, acronym, or portmanteau, Ben?
No, we did talk about this because I feel it's very important to know the difference between an initialism, an acronym, and a portmanteau. Yeah. Just because it makes me feel superior to people.
Yeah. It is it's a portmanteau.
It's a portmanteau.
Because it's chunks. So even though it's the first bit of the words, which is not a traditional portmanteau, because a portmanteau is usually the first bit of one word and the last bit of another word.
Sure, yeah.
But not exclusively. So it is a portmanteau. Okay. I wasn't sure if that would still count.
Yeah. So it's direction, range, distance, Dratus.
Yeah.
Thanks to Victor for throwing that up in the Discord today. I definitely said, oh, out loud in the final I was proctoring for.
Nice.
No, I didn't.
Not like the students care. They'll be fine.
But I noticed it and I was like, oh, cool.
So we jump a little bit ahead here to a 132.15 hours. So 45 minutes has passed.
And we have our first, okay, get everybody some sleep.
Yeah.
Shut things down, start our run around with just our 3 ships. Who's on drugs? All right, you guys, you're not going to be able to sleep anyway. And they joke about how, oh man, Boomer, you're holding up better than anybody. You must be a Cylon. And she's like, shut up.
Yeah.
Oh.
But see, this is the thing where if I'm the Cylons, I'm changing it up. Show up next time at 66 minutes and then 47. And like the next time, 3 hours.
No, this is water. This is drip water torture, Ben.
Yeah.
This is regular to a point of terrifying. And then exactly, you do it 200 times and then you change it once. But that's not the case. Everyone in CIC is asleep at their stations. And as the pilots start to head back to the barn, except for Apollo, Starbuck, Boomer, and Crashdown, the Olympic carrier arrives.
Yeah.
They had an FTL drive issue and were just ignored by the Cylons. How convenient. Gaius urges Colonial 1 to cut off communications.
Hello and welcome to Who Are You, a reasonably well done podcast about a couple of friends talking about Battlestar Galactica. I'm Ben. It's been 33 minutes.
Oh.
The clock goes off, we start over.
No. No. No.
That's cute.
I had that idea days ago.
I'm sure. Aaron, you'll probably have to cut that out and edit it to the 33-minute mark of playtime just for the bit to work.
Yeah. Nobody cares.
Anyways, Gaius urges Colonial 1 to cut off communications. They tell the carrier to stop. They just keep driving towards the fleet and don't respond.
This is one of those times when you're like, God damn it, this fucking guy, but he is right.
Yeah, he is right.
Yeah. We cannot let that carrier in. Yeah.
One thing I do really appreciate about the stuff that's happening right now is as soon as the Olympic carrier shows up, Adama's like, start the clock again.
Mm-hmm.
And Ty isn't like, what are you doing? He's like, gods, I hope you're not right. Because like they both immediately have the thought of, dip. Like it's on. It's going again. What is the worst thing that could be happening right now? It started again.
Yep.
Uh-huh.
And I like that our characters are hyper competent.
The fleet conducts jump number 240 here as the Cylons arrive exactly 33 minutes after the Olympic carrier had jumped in. Crashdown finds nukes on the Olympic carrier, and Adama makes the call to destroy the jetliner.
Yeah.
Apollo looks and doesn't really see anyone on board. Fun fact.
Oh, did you read this too?
NBC required that they change this. He was supposed to see people in there.
Yeah. They found it too dark, is what I read.
Yep. Can't have it. Can't shoot down the plane full of civilians that's actively crashing into us.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think in this day and age, that would have gone through. I think we were
too close to 9/11 for sure.
Yep. I think so.
Also, one interesting thing. So in Baltar's head, when this is all going down, it's he rejects Six and her monotheism. He goes full Christopher Hitchens. Like, if I can't explain it, it doesn't. I don't care. And also, I'm a giant piece of shit.
Yeah.
And just on cue, this ship shows up as if God is explicitly doing this at
Baltar. Yeah.
And it's delusions of grandeur are a common effect of schizophrenia and bipolar disorder. And so schizophrenia, it's like he's seeing a person, talking to them, having auditory hallucinations, typically not visual hallucinations with schizophrenia, but like, hey, that could be an explanation for what's going on here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Or it could be that there's a chip in him, and this is all being actively orchestrated by the Cylons to fuck with Baltar.
Yeah. It's like, are the Cylons God? That's the thing I wrote down here because, Six is insisting that there's one God. And I was like, so is God a Cylon? Like, I'm confused because they definitely have control of the Olympic carrier, right?
Or
Yeah.
do they?
Do they?
Are they just a bunch of people panicking?
No, they have control of that carrier. I firmly believe it.
You don't think that there's a base star within range? The Cylons fuck with computers all the time. You think that they couldn't just say, hey, we're going to make it sensors like there's nukes in that thing?
It's so compromised no matter what. I don't think they have a choice. Like, you can't let that ship back in this fleet. You just can't.
What if it's not the carrier that's the problem? What if it's a collection of ships, like a triangulation?
Yeah, I mean, that's possible. Like,
And what if it's just one person?
Yeah. There's just a Cylon that we already know and totally not one that we don't on that ship.
yeah. I'm not convinced that they're not, like, tracking them through Baltar.
Mm-hmm.
So, in that case, like, it doesn't matter. He's still around. We're still going to find you,
Yeah. The order's given. The CGI animators did put a couple of moving shadows in on the ship when it's shown at distance, by the way. I don't know if any of y'all noticed that.
Yeah.
But they destroy the Olympic carrier as the fleet jumps away. We cut over to Caprica, where Hilo wakes up. The Six asks him if he's alive and then kisses him, mirroring the pilot in Armistice Station.
Yeah, what's up with that? So weird.
And then a Sharon shoots the Six, rescuing
Talking about his boomer.
Hilo.
She came to save the day.
Yeah, it's totally Boomer.
Sure,
guys.
Crashdown's coming right behind.
Yep, totally Boomer. Back on the ship, Bill and Lee both feel responsible for the civilian deaths. 24 hours have passed without the Cylons showing up, and our head count of survivors goes up by 1 as a
What
baby
does it say
was born.
About our big and little Adama relationship that the "I'm sorry I made you do a war crime, son" is not the most uncomfortable conversation we've watched them have.
In 3 episodes. Ugh.
Hey, son, I'm sorry. I told you to do it. I did the war crime. No, Dad. We did the war crime.
Yeah, touching. You love a father-son moment, don't you?
Yep. Well, that's the episode.
Okay, sorry, audience. We just lost Xhafer. We had an internet mess up of some kind.
Or the Cylons got him because he networked his computers.
Oh, you shouldn't have done that, Xhafer. You would think if there was anybody in this podcast who should know not to network his computers, it's Xhafer, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, well.
Well,
they got him.
Now that we've gotten to the end of the episode, I just want to know, Laura, with this being the pilot, what do you think of this show? Because I haven't heard your review of the second half of the miniseries. But with what you guys were talking about with the first half, you were like, hey, this was good, but this was dark. I don't know if I'd be watching it here in this moment. Like, I'm the kind of person where it's like, if I'm feeling a way, I want to, like, double down and revel in it. So, like, if I'm feeling sad, play me the sad music. If I'm in a bad place mentally, I'm going to watch a very dark, sad movie. Like, give me all the noirs where, everybody's a bad person and nobody, everybody, you learn a lesson, but it's that there's nothing you could have done anyway. And it's life is futile. Forget it, Jake. It's Chinatown. That's me. I'm a broken human being. You have light in your eyes, and
that's very kind of you to say.
So how do you feel now that we've hit the pilot?
Well, I'll spoil my review on the second half of the miniseries. I loved it.
Hey.
Wait. All right, start the clock.
We have to redo this again.
Nope, he's back. Clock. Start the clock.
We're not at another 33 minutes. Okay.
Yeah.
No, but I'm just saying you're our Olympic carrier.
Yeah. We can't trust you now.
Clock. That's fair.
He's a double dirty Cylon.
I definitely have a plan. I have more of a plan than the Cylons had.
Okay. I have a question before we get too far into like how we feel about this episode.
Okay.
33 minutes.
Yep.
I mean, I'm of the opinion that seems like a technical thing. Like we have a technical limitation that we just can't get past 33 minutes.
From a Cylon point of view, I'm sure that is it. There's a certain amount of time it takes for you get to the next place, we get a signal back, we have to set everything up, spool up our drives. It always takes 33 minutes because we're robots and we have, efficiency.
I disagree.
Yeah, I was wondering if you felt the
I
same.
think I would assume that there's a technical limitation that where 33 minutes is the maximum amount of time it will take, hypothetically, and they are just sandbagging to the 33 minutes.
Like they could catch up faster?
Yes. I think right now they want to give them just enough time to have a little bit of hope because they're clearly toying with them.
I don't think they are. They seem to really be trying to kill them all the time. So
Yeah.
I don't think they're toying with them. I think they are giving it their all every single time.
I wonder, because it seems like if you want to destroy all of these people and you have total control of your hive mind or whatever, then this would have been more efficient.
Hey, sexy mama. Want to kill all humans?
So I think there's something they don't have total control of. I don't know. It just seems like, case in point, at the end of the episode, we have this thing with 6 shows up and kisses Hilo, but then Boomer shoots her in the back. And then another 6 is over here. And it's like, was the 6 that kissed him just like toying with him, and now we're playing with him with this Boomer thing happening? It's like,
well, death doesn't mean anything to them.
Right. I'm not saying that it does or should, but it's like, this is not an efficient way to just exterminate all humans. So either
no, it's not.
Either, I guess it's one or the other. And Xhafer's point could be that they're just toying with them the whole time, or there's something we don't have 100% control of within our own thing.
Yeah.
So either we're totally in control and we're just bapping the mouse around like a cat, or something is not 100% on lock.
Yeah.
Well, Laura, I can tell you, I don't think Xhafer, and I'm going to say, I know I sound stupid just saying it, I don't think Xhafer is taking the other side just to mess with me. I think we both have honest disagreements about what the Cylons are doing, and this is from people who've seen the whole show.
Yeah. So that tells me that this is intentionally ambiguous.
Yeah. Ambiguity is the name of the game with this show. So don't think of it like Lost, where it's, hey, they say they have answers to all this, and maybe they do, maybe they don't. Battlestar Galactica, they honestly went in with, you should feel like I don't know exactly what's going on. And it's because you don't. And you should have that weird feeling in your stomach.
Yeah.
Like having a pilot where the ultimate like finale big thing isn't the base star comes in and we've come up with a cool idea on how to destroy it, and Colonel Ty says fire, and then something happens and we blow up the base star and the day is saved for now. We know there's more base stars and they're coming after us, but hey, we got our feel good moment for the end of the pilot. It's, no, we shot down a passenger plane.
Yeah.
But we think it was the right thing to do.
Yeah.
That is the space we're playing in.
Oh, this is so fun, because I feel like the one biggest takeaway I have from my first semester in the PhD program is it is a mistake to ever think you know something. And the show is also about that.
Oh, what is it? The island of knowledge only increases the shore of uncertainty.
Oh.
Have you ever heard that analogy?
I haven't, but I like
that's
it.
Good.
So
like it
if you imagine like an island, the smaller it is, the smaller the shoreline is.
Yeah.
And everything you learn, you're pouring another bucket of sand onto the island, and it gets bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And as it gets bigger, you get a greater shoreline because you know so much, but you're also being exposed to how much you don't know.
The more you know, the less you know.
And if you don't know, now you know.
Now you know. All right. Well, we should probably rate this episode.
Yeah.
We're using a scale of 1 to 12 colonies. And as I've stated on the Discord, and as I think I stated in an episode of Who Are You when we were doing our Babylon 5 coverage forever ago, that I had already determined the scale because of this episode. Because I wanted to break it. I think I say it in there. I'm doing the scale and I'm going to break it in the 3rd episode. And that's exactly my goal here, because this is the 13 Lost Earth colony out of 12 colonies.
Yeah.
The 13 out of 12. The rating on the books. I'm straight up Meltzering this shit.
Yeah, I feel like I've been a broken record for the last 3 episodes with just like, I loved it. But guys, I loved it. Like,
good.
Though
it's a good show.
I only took a page of notes, and I was thinking about why is that? And it's because there's so much like human stuff happening that's not, you don't like take notes of, and then this happened, and then this happened. It's just like impressions and quick scenes and stress. It's just a very stressful episode. Adama,
it's hard
like
to take notes for.
Adama's like trying to shave because, 5 days of stubble on his face and cuts himself and just quits. And, the people like nodding off. Just, there's so many details in the background that are just really good. There's a clock. There's like an analog clock. And we've taped 33 on the bottom, like where 33 minutes is.
That's one thing I love about Battlestar Galactica is because of the history and lore of the universe. It is a beautiful future retro aesthetic.
Oh yeah,
so
we
not
have corded
retro
phones.
futurist. So not like, hey, what if the 50s, like everything we were promised and then it became true, like Fallout. This is, what if we got to space travel and we're like, oh no, the computers tried to kill us. What do we do? Well, unlike in Babylon 5, where you're like, why does anybody have a paper? In Battlestar Galactica, you're like, nobody's carrying an iPad. Like, people would look at you weird and be like, what are you doing? Like, that thing can kill you. Yes, give me paper with the edges cut off.
Not only can that thing kill you, that thing tried to kill my parents.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, sorry, Laura, did you have a number?
Oh, yeah. If we're going to bust the scale and do number 13, I'll hop on board with that because I'm just having good old time over here.
Well, I'm tempted to break the scale even further, but I'm not going to do that because I don't want to reveal anything or say anything.
Oh, would that be spoilers?
I don't want to spoil anything. I think Xhafer knows what I'm talking about.
I do know what you're talking about.
But I'm going to give this 1980 out of 12 for
Battlestar
1980.
There we go.
Which is somehow Dukes of Hazzard, but Battlestar Galactica. It's batshit.
Are we watching that one? Xhafer, I know you told me.
Yes, you are.
Okay.
I'm demanding it. It was supposed
I mean, you might over on Cool Girls. It'd actually probably be a great show for Cool Girls.
That would be so insane if you have them watch like a few random episodes of Battlestar 1979 and then jump right into Battlestar 80 and be like, what happened? Because you would have no idea.
Ben, I don't think we talked about this on the last pod, but Xhafer and I talked about it. You should come with Xhafer to Oklahoma City whenever we can arrange it, because for some reason Glenn Larson is buried here and we can all go visit his grave.
Okay.
I don't know why he's in an Oklahoma City cemetery. It says he died in California, but he's buried here.
Okay.
So
yeah,
I think we should have a family trip.
Well,
that sounds fun.
I would love to get out to Oklahoma City sometime.
Yeah.
But yes, 13 out of 12. This is one of my absolute favorite pieces of sci-fi period. Like not just TV, like TV, movies, books, everything. I would put it up against anything, and I have.
I mean, yeah, this is it. This is the high point of the show, which is why we're done with our Battlestar coverage. There's no point. It only goes down from here.
There's still
so
a
we'll
lot
be
of
back
really
next
good
week
Battlestar
with
Galactica.
Stargate SG-1.
Hey, no, you're not doing that again.
Yeah, no, I'm excited.
I do just want to say you have a fascinating experience coming in front of you, Laura. I'm excited to hear what you have to say, Xhafer. I'm excited to see you revisiting it. Glorianne and I I rewatched it. Glorianne watched it for the first time early 2023.
Okay.
So it's very fresh in my mind. I still I could have just talked about this episode. I've seen it enough times. I still watched it again because I love it.
It's a great episode.
And it's also, kind of nice to go. It's kind of like Babylon 5 where it's like, hey, not everything that happens here is good. It doesn't make me all happy. Like, there's fascisms and genocides and stuff I don't like. But also sometimes it's nice to just return to an old sci-fi.
Yeah.
And I love Battlestar Galactica. It's fun. It's hard sci-fi. I love the way the the spaceship battles go. I love just sometimes they just get into the weird logistics of what is life trapped aboard all of these tiny ships we weren't supposed to be living on.
Yeah. Some of these are just like planes.
Yeah.
All right. So, all that said, next week we'll be back with Season 1, Episode 2, Water.
Oh, no.
Very simple episode names.
Yeah.
A main water reserve ruptures and millions of gallons of fresh water are lost.
Yeah.
It appears as if the ship was sabotaged, perhaps by a silent agent from within.
Oh, no. Not again.
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll be back with that next week. But until then, thanks, Ben, for joining us.
My pleasure.
You can hear Ben's fabulous dulcet tones on Last Time On with myself and our other co-host, Victor, a.k.a. Dominion Media Television. Ben, are you just like a host on the Robin Hood podcast now, or are you just guesting occasionally?
I just guest occasionally, and I am on all of their Robin Hood Let's Plays.
That's what it is. You're on the Robin Hood Let's Play. Go ahead, plug the Robin Hood podcast.
If you head to YouTube, that's the place where you can see it. If you look up Into the Greenwood, they have a dedicated playlist there that is us doing a Robin Hood themed tabletop adventure. And so if you want to see 4 people fail miserably at beating outlaws in Sherwood Forest, have we got a show for you. It's super fun. I will freely admit I have not nailed down an accent for my character. I keep trying and then phasing in and out. I feel bad about it. It's part of the problem is just we play for a really long time and then it'll be a month and then we play again. But
yeah.
It's a really fun time. I love the people over there. I love my character, and I love the absolutely horrible choices we have made as a group of budding outlaws. It's just a lot of fun. So check it out on YouTube, Into the Greenwood. Wonderful time. And welcome to Who Are You? A reasonably well done podcast by 3 friends, now strangers, watching Battlestar Galactica.
Yep. That was a 33-minute mark again. Just in time to say thank you to Jeremy Siegel. Thanks, Jeremy, for doing our theme music. You can find more of Jeremy's work at jeremysiegel42.bandcamp.com.
Thanks, Angry Duck Time Machine, on Instagram for our podcast artwork. It is so cute. We love it.
We do.
Yep. I am sad you guys didn't go with my recommendation to put Xhafer in the red dress, but,
yeah,
you know.
Yeah, it's a real missed opportunity.
It is.
Well, it's better for everyone's eyes this way. And thank you, listener, for joining us, spending, I'm guessing, 50 minutes after everything gets cut out from my internet losing connection and having a
I know,
retry.
we were doing gold while you were gone.
Oh, were you? Oh, might I'll stay in. Maybe I'll have to listen to this one. I don't know. But thanks for joining us, listener. We really appreciate you choosing to spend your time with us. You can join us on our Discord, social media, 5-star reviews. You know the deal. This isn't your only podcast.
Mm-hmm.
I hope. I think. I assume.
Yeah, if we are your only podcast, thanks.
Thanks.
Yeah.
I'm flattered.
Then come talk to us in the Discord because
It's a great time.
Yeah, you need
The
more
Discord's
of us.
so much fun.
Yeah.
All right. We'll see you next week, Internet.
And we will see you next time on Who Are You?